All right, y'all. Friday Night Smackdown review for January 6th, 2023. If the Bloodline wasn't appearing like throughout the show, this show would have fucking sucked. Let's just be real, man. There's nothing else we really care about on SmackDown outside of the Bloodline storyline. Anyways, let's get to it. Show starts off with the Bloodline. They're like tossing chairs and shit around, messing up the announce table. And Roman Reigns and Paul Heyman come out. Roman says he wants to hear from Sami Uso. And Sammy says the bloodline is putting everybody on notice. We are sending a message this year. And then Roman says, I don't want to talk about this year. I want to talk about last year. And then he says, what do you think happened in that match last week? He's asking Sammy, so he said, we lost. And then he just does like a lie. Roman starts laughing. He says, it's not in my DNA to lose. I didn't lose. Sammy lost. He says, my shoulders weren't on the mat. Sammy's shoulders were on the mat. I didn't lose. And then he says, why did you guarantee a win? I do that. You called your shot and failed to deliver. And then he starts, Roman starts getting more emotional and pissed off. Says, you want to be the tribal chief? You want to do what I do? And then he starts yelling at him. You think you're me? And then Kevin Owens comes out. And KO says, your problem is not with Sammy, it's with me. You said it yourself, you have a KO problem. And then Kevin Owens challenges Roman Reigns to a title match at the Royal Rumble. Roman accepts. He's like, I just want you gone or whatever. And then, so yeah, it's going to be Kevin Owens versus Roman Reigns again. Roman Reigns going to beat the shit out of Kevin Owens again. Next up, we got Kofi Kingston versus Santos Escobar. Kofi hit a crossbody. Santos hit a running knee. Kofi lands a drop kick. And Kofi hit the SOS for a 2 count. Santos hit a knee to Kofi's face, who was coming off the top rope for a near fall. And Santos hit a Phantom Driver for a win. They didn't say this was a Royal Rumble qualifying match, but then later they confirmed it later in the show. So Santos is in the Royal Rumble. All right. Next up, there was a segment in the back. Sami Zayn, he knocks on the bloodline door. Paul Heyman opens it up. Sami says he needs to talk to Roman. He needs to explain. And then Heyman says, now is not the time. Last week, I told you the island of relevancy is to stay 3 steps ahead at all times. And then Heyman says he still loves Sami. All right, next up, there's another segment in the back. LA Knight says he feels good because Bray Wyatt's plans blew up in his face. So, yeah, that was pretty much it for that. All right, next up, we got a mixed tag team match with Karrion Kross and Scarlett versus Madcap Moss and Emma. Moss hit a DDT on Kross. The ladies tag in. Emma clotheslined Scarlett, and then Kross applied the Kross jacket. Madcap Moss passed out, and then after the match, Karrion Kross and Kross put Rey Mysterio's mask on Madcap's head, and then it was like a card of with the picture of Rey Mysterio on it, like a playing card. And he left it on Madcap Moss's chest. I guess just continue the rivalry or some shit. And then next up, we got a pre-tape segment. It's at Jerry the King Lawler's bar. The show's in Memphis, Tennessee. Drew McIntyre and Sheamus are there. They're pretty much just recapping their history. And every time one of them said something, they would slap each other in the back and the chest and shit. So just whatever. Next up, we got Charlotte Flair. Oh, man, I can't stand fucking Charlotte Flair. She's just irritating. She said something about Payback being a bitch about Ronda Rousey, and then Sonya Deville comes out, and Charlotte beats Sonya in a few minutes. See what the point of that was. Ricochet versus Top Dollar. Ricochet wins after the match. Top Dollar and the rest of Hit Row beat up Ricochet. They finally fucking turned heel. Hopefully hopefully this can work, because if this shit doesn't work, then Hit Row, they send him back to NXT or just fucking fire him, because it's not gonna work out for them. That's pretty much it. So hopefully it works out for them. Segment in the back, Roman Reigns tells Heyman to bring Sammy, and then there's another segment, and Sammy shows up. Sammy says he's not trying to be the tribal chief. And Roman says he doesn't accept his apology. Nobody deserves a scolding. Sammy says you're under a lot of pressure. And Roman says he's mad at KO. I'm taking it all out on you. And Paul Heyman says it's going to be you versus Kevin Owens next week. And Sammy says the Usos music plays. They got a TV up in the Bloodline locker room. And Roman's like, no, you're going to stay here with me, man. You watch a match with me. And then we got main event for the tag titles: Usos versus Drew McIntyre and Sheamus. Usos are with Solo Sikoa. Jay hit a Samoan drop on Drew. Sheamus hit a clothesline on Jay, and then Sheamus hit the 10 beats of the Baldwin on Jay Uso. And then Jimmy hit a splash on Sheamus for a 2 count. And then Drew and Sheamus hit White Noise on the Usos from the second ropes. It was a cool spot. And then Drew hit 2 neck breakers on both the Usos. And then Drew hit a Claymore on Jey Uso. Jimmy broke up the count. Usos hit a double super kick and a 3D on Sheamus. McIntyre saved the match. And then Solo attacked Drew while the referee was distracted. And then Brawling Brutes come out. Butch and Ridge Holland. They start fighting Solo Sikoa. Sheamus hit a brogue kick. Jay pulled Jimmy outside the ring. And then Jimmy got forgot what, it was a roll-up pin or inside cradle. And then Jey Uso used his legs or feet or whatever to give him a boost or help him with leverage. And then that's how they won. So obviously, Usos retain like they always do. Pretty outside of bloodline stuff, pretty much just boring. So yeah, that was pretty much it for SmackDown. All right, see you guys.